from the same place that make the same trip on the same ship. So we must push one common intention. It's for a better life in the region. For we women and we children. That must be the ambition of the Caribbean and the Caribbean and the Caribbean.
When we speak of civil liberties and civil rights, people are beginning to understand that the most fundamental of these is the right to work in our society. And what is occurring in Guyana is that the government is making political capital out of the indefensible position of one who is either unemployed or is very close to the line of being unemployed.
I want to say to you all in no uncertain terms that this government is disrespectful to black people. And if people disrespect you, you have a right to disrespect them.
I am saying no.
If you hear that, black is beautiful. Santa Claus. Black is beautiful. It's a textile. Lift your head like me. You got to wear it forward with dignity. How it burns out. Black is beautiful. I said, sing it along. Black is beautiful. Say, I'm black and proud. It's my time that we get rid of that old slave mentality.
When we speak of civil liberties and civil rights, people are beginning to understand that the most fundamental of these is the right to work in our society. And what is occurring in Guyana is that the government is making political capital out of the indefensible position of one who is either unemployed or is very close to the line of being unemployed.
I want to say to you all in no uncertain terms that this government is disrespectful to black people. And if people disrespect you, you have a right to disrespect them.
I am saying now that we have started. Now that we have come together. Do not sleep. Don't let us go back quietly into the night. Protest must be the order of the day.
Mr. Watts, he's armed himself shots. Shots, watch it, tear gas. Live rounds. Also, I can see that.
Justice for Quindon! The man is a boxer, man. Why you not put in a boxer, man, to do that?
But since my cousin there is no, you come up the East Coast.
You listen to me.
Right? No, you come up the East Coast.
You listen to me now.
You gotta listen to me too, man.
I am listening to you.
Right? Now, I see you on the East Coast. The day when they get a protest of them, the next day, that's when you see one bigger heads come up to talk to my family. Right? And that's bad. If we didn't do a protest, then we want to see nobody for justice. You see? I'm not holding back nothing. I'm not holding back nothing. I just need justice for my family.
I said, this is how you cause I parliament and kick up them big boys in government. Because the first thing them fellas do after they stage the coup is to play all them calypso that was banned from the radio. But the ink ain't dry on the amnesty. The rulers talking censorship already. Either they bounce their head in the brawl, or they never had no sense to start with at all. Boy, hush your mouth and don't say a thing. Robbie and the boys might be listening. Well, if they are, they must realize that people still cussing that they survive. But I say if Baka did shoot them down this year, I'd have nobody to pong. With all the big talk and arrogance, they belittle them by making them drop their pants. Cause I hear as soon as their trousers fall, all the big boys in there turn out to be small. So who vex but vex? Tell the boss he lost. But once they maintain that course, then I'm attacking them with full force. Doomday, doomday. They say they can't find a reason why they ain't lock up my tail for treason. Well, if they preaching conspiracy, examine the horns in their own party. We all know that the Speaker Nizam was friendly with that same Imam, but when he take over Parliament, fortunately Nizam was absent. And a well-known, youthful and smart AG named his son after black Muslim Stokely. But when he boss pants was by his knees, he was tiptoeing out with the tea ladies. Boy, hush your mouth and don't say a thing. Tony and the boys might be listening. Well, they should tell me who is the clown that Andy Thomas get a free pardon from. Rather than hanging by neck till dead, he get a license to shoot more police instead. And Sharp Brother join this new mutiny, like revolution does run in them family. But if in 70 we did blow away Rafi Shah, we'd never hear a boo from any Baka. So who vex could vex? Tell the boss he lost. But once they maintain that course, then I'm attacking them with full force. Doomday, doomday. The ruling party is a disaster, but the opposition no better. Manning and Marshall can't find a way, like Pam throw some pea on the Balize. And NJAC is a non-starter. They don't fall down on their own dagger. And you can't rig a election just as easy as a Kaiso competition. And if a certain party take over, the leader will pass a law against Douglas. But if you ask him about the fact, I'm sure he go say, well, I'll drink to that. Boy, hush your mouth and don't say a thing. Panday and the boys might be listening. Well, tell them that John Public want to know if Monan pay off all them people he owe, and if they make Amar a senator for selling people overpriced motor car. But they go dead in opposition. Monan can't make mountain from no heap of sand. Them jokers they choose causing big protests. They like Morgan Job in a beauty contest. Them down this year, I'd have nobody to pong. With all the big talk and arrogance, they belittle them by making them drop their pants. Cause I hear as soon as the trousers fall, all the big boys in there turn out to be small. So who vex, good vex? Tell the boss he lost. But once they maintain that course, then I'm attacking them with full force. Doomday, doomday. They say they can't find a reason why they ain't lock up my tail for treason. Well, if they preaching conspiracy, examine the horns in their own party. We all know that the Speaker Nizam was friendly with that same Imam, but when he take over Parliament, fortunately Nizam was absent. And a well-known, youthful and smart AG named his son after black Muslim Stokely. But when he boss pants was by his knees, he was tiptoeing out with the tea ladies. Boy, hush your mouth and don't say a thing. Tony and the boys might be listening. Well, they should tell me who is the clown that Andy Thomas get a free pardon from. Rather than hanging by neck till dead, he get a license to shoot more police instead. And Sharp brother join this new mutiny, like revolution does run in them family. But if in 70 we did blow away Rafik Shah, we'd never hear a boo from any backer. So who vex, good vex? Tell the boss he lost. But once they maintain that course, then I'm attacking them with full force. Doomday, doomday.
If you hear that, black is beautiful. Santa Claus. Black is beautiful. It's a textile. Lift your head like me. You got to wear it for with dignity. How it burn out. Black is beautiful. I said, sing it along. Black is beautiful. Say, I'm black and brown. It's my time that we get rid of that old slave mentality.
This is an SOS from the Trinidad. Location 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. SOS, Mayday, Mayday, help! The Trinidad, a luxury liner, sailing the Caribbean Sea. Without no captain named Eric Williams. For years, it's old and free. But sadly, Eric William passed away. The ship is more than a day. Someone turned the bridge over to a captain named Chambers. My blood crawl, things start to fall. Hold me hand and I said, I'm fall. When they tell me, Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. Oh yes, we got some almost empty, no electricity. We all pressure in the low. Shall we abandon that ship or shall we stay on it? And very slow, we don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh my. You know, boy. The Trinidad, oh, she was a beauty with words that few surpassed. In her day, she sailed majestically. There were few in her class. Faithfully, she fulfilled her sailor's need. Some are overcome by greed, so they build and slow. Some to Bible can go. Now she looked dull, she's at a lull. She could barely sit on her hand. What they tell me? The ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. Oh yes, we get that pollution, we know electricity. We all pressure we don't know. Shall we abandon that ship or shall we stay on it? I'm very slow, we don't know, we don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Oh, oh, oh. Oh yeah. The Trinidad, in her day of sailing, she was a friend, a true friend to one and all. She never once ever hesitated to answer all SOS calls. And yes, so she always did her best to help all those in distress. Now it's so sad to see she's in difficulty. Though she can cheer, some of them cheer, and sarcastically declare, when I tell you, she was singing. What I say? Oh yes, we got that almost empty, no electricity. We all pressure in the low. Shall we abandon ship or shall we stay on it? I'm very slow. We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell us what to do. Now there's a lot of fingers pointed. Suspicion keeps running strong. Who's to be blamed for all her failures? Who should we blame for doing her wrong? Now please remember I'm warning you, for the years she had said through, when the keys to her fault, we know who's at fault. It's up to you and up to me to make her worry, to give up the she's sinking slowly. Captain, she be sinking. Captain, the seas are up. Oh yes, we got that almost empty, no electricity. We all pressure in the low. Shall we abandon shame? Or shall we stay on it? I'm just looking. I don't know. That's when you tell me what to do. I don't know. You tell me what to do. I don't know. You tell me what to do. I don't know. Listen here. Take it down. Yeah. When in Grenada, I always feel fine. I want to talk to a friend of mine. Anytime we all meet on any street, I want you to take this message to Keith. Tell him I'm very sure he get a mandate like never before. But tell me what's next. Don't get the people vexed. Out of the way, I say, otherwise you will have to pay when they say, Captain, the ship is sinking. If they tell him, Captain, the seas are rough. We get some almost every no electricity. We all pressure really low. Shot me up. When in Grenada, I always feel fine. I want to talk to a friend of mine. Anytime we all meet on any street, I want you to take this message to Keith. Tell him I'm very sure he get a mandate like never before. But tell me what's next. Don't get the people vexed. Out of the way, I say, otherwise you will have to pay when they say, Captain, the ship is sinking. If they tell him, Captain, the seas are wrong. We get some almost every no electricity. We all pressure really low. Shall we abandon that ship? Or shall we start it? I'm very slow. We don't know. I always feel fine. I want to talk to a friend of mine. Anytime we all meet on any street, I want you to take this message to Keith. Tell him I'm very sure he get a mandate like never before. But tell me what's next. Don't get the people vexed. Out of the way, I say, otherwise you will have to pay when they say, Captain.
Trustees are rough. Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the ship is sinking. Don't get the people vexed, or else you will have to pay. They've been vexing the people for 5 years, and they sit down and believe they got we capture. They got we capture. And then the people get vexed and they attack with full force. Good evening to all of you. Good evening and welcome to Politics 101. It's a Wednesday night. It's good to be a Guyanese. It's good to be a Caribbean person. It's good to be African. Captain, the ship is sinking. As I said last night, our people took over Guyana for one night to show them what the people can do. Not leaders. No PNC was there, no WPA, no AFC. They weren't there. They were in their beds. And the masses took over Guyana and forced the rulers to admit that we have lost control and we are going to have a limited state of emergency. Planes that were coming to land had to turn back. That's when you know. And they tried to get us to engage in looting, conversation about looting and this, and some of us have fallen for that nonsense. All you send looters there? All you got anything for anybody loot? Why are you all concerned about looters? The story on Monday night was not about looting. The story on Monday night was about revolution and transformation. It was about people who were tired. And those of you who've been calling for boots on the ground, you all get boots and more boots. Boots and more boots. Let them come out on the streets on Monday night. Let her come out with a red jersey on Monday night. Let her call press conference on Monday night. The full force of the people. And I hear some of you all say, oh, the Monday night thing was about scrapehead and look, you all stop that nonsense, yeah? the Monday night thing was the power of the people that started to build up 5 years ago. But the recent build-up started when those women took us in front at the Square Revolution when they lock up Melly Mel. The last lap started then. You know, when you're in the midst of history, you don't realize that history is being made. And then on Monday night, our people attacked with full force. And the government, with all its big talk, ran for cover. They have rounded up 100 of our young people, charging them with terror and looting and robbing and all kinds of things. You know, when their backs against the wall, they look for the weakest, what they think is the weakling. Let them declare war on the young, because that's what they've done. They are declaring war on a segment of our community. As I said last night, I'm not in favor of looting yesterday, today, or any day. I'm not in favor of beating people, attacking them because of their race. I'm not in favor of those things. But those things were not what Monday night was about. Monday night was about something bigger and more transformative. Let them not determine our narrative. Monday night was about the revolutionary force of the Guyanese society, led by its African soldiers. Because those African soldiers, they were fighting not just for African people, but for East Indian people who could not come out. For Amerindians who could not come out. For the black middle class, which of course, you know, we condemn the blocking of roads. Y'all go to hell. You all are my friends. You all condemn the blocking of, what the hell they will block? What you want them to block? This is what the middle class does. It wants to direct poor people and working people how they must struggle. Sitting in the comfort of their homes, we condemn the blocking of roads and we condemn the destruction of property. Destruction of property. Go to Moko. Go to Moko. But that is the middle class for you, our black middle class. Some of them were across the river there today. God bless them. They went across the river and they held the press. Because some of you all asking why the WPA not there. Well, the WPA not there because we ain't talking that shit about condemning blocking roads. They ain't coming from WPA mouth. What do you want our people to block? You want them to block you? Maybe they should do that. You cannot want to say that our people are oppressed. And when the oppressed decide to fight back against the oppression, you are telling them what they did was wrong and they didn't do this and they didn't do that. You show me any protest in the history of Guyana, anywhere in the world, that you didn't have bad eggs who engage in looting and thieving and harming people and so forth. So tell me, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying, why are you all behaving as though something is wrong with our people? Nothing is wrong with them. They listen to us. Take it easy. Don't protest. They listen to us for 5 years. That little girl that they kill, that they swap, that they sacrifice, that little girl, cause black people belly to burn? Can a woman's tender care cease towards the child she bear? And even if you're a man, your belly rumble when they do what they do to that little girl. Post-mortem, do we walk? We got to get past post-mortem. Here is what the post-mortem ought to teach us. Here's what the post-mortem ought to teach us. Our demands must not be limited. If we say justice is a post-mortem, then when the post-mortem come back and doesn't give justice, we lose faith. Then we're going to say, Hickins must go. And then they're going to throw away Hickins and bring somebody worse than Hickins. And then we get vexed. Justice is not a limited thing. I hear it. I hear people say, this body must go, and the police must this, and the police must. My story very straight. For this advantage on black people and poor people to stop, the PPP must go, not Hickins. Because when the PPP goes, Hickins goes. But Hickins can go and the PPP remain. And they will find another Hickins. I know the middle class are into that nice dirty. You know, when independence was happening in the 1930s, when the working people of the Caribbean get up and what they call the 1930s rise from Bahamas in the north right down to Guyana in the south. And people took to the streets for 1 decade. The middle class said to the British, you all give us independence quickly. Because if you all don't give us independence, you all see what happening on the street, it's them people you all got to deal with. The middle class has always seen the working class as hooligans and thugs, including our black middle class. So I wasn't surprised when some of them came out and said they condemned the blocking of roads. Well, if you can't block your own road, then what is left for you to use to protest? They want our people to go protest without anything in their hands. So those of you are asking why the WPA was not there today, you all get your answer. You all get your answer. But I commend them, because they were brothers and sisters. I commend them for going there as a show of force and to speak truth to power. Don't get me wrong. But our story is a different story. We are not throwing our people under the bus. We are not telling people how to protest. Our job is to defend our people, to protect our people as much as we can, and to give our people consciousness. Our leader talked about the self-activity of the people. And that's what we saw there on Monday night. People engaging in their own activity, organizing themselves, deciding how they would move, what they would use. And then the next day, some of their leaders, some are distancing themselves and some are, saying that they condemn this. Black man, sometimes they yak too much. That is part of our problem. But I love them because they're my brothers. And ultimately, we all have to do this thing together. But I want you all to see the sheep from the goat. I want you all to see the sheep from the goat. They have rounded up our boys. Nothing new. They've been shooting down those boys from 1840 when they formed the police force, 1839. They formed the police force to police black people. And every time their backs against the wall, they call out the police. The one who calls himself president always threatening. People are going to be prosecuted. When a couple of weeks ago, East Indians were on the streets in Blackbush Boulder, blocking roads. Did he go there and prosecute them? Did he put out wanted bulletin for them? No, they went there and appeased them. And that is what I'm talking about. That these fools on our side who are talking where Indian people suffering too. Indian people are treated differently by this government. Only a couple of weeks ago at Blackbush Boulder, they were blocking roads. Did the police and army go there? Were the army and the police called out? Were wanted bulletins issued for them? Black people, you all understand, do not follow false prophets. Some of these who are calling themselves leaders. Because they're so damn biased. The PPP is biased, we know that. But some on our side are even more biased. Some of them went to Blackbush Boulder and give solidarity to the East Indians who were blocking roads. But when their own people block roads, they put out big statement. We are not in favor of blocking roads. These hypocrites and parasites, political parasites, that's what they are. Hypocrites. It's not just the PPP that treat black people in a certain way. Some of our leaders do. I repeat, just a couple of weeks ago, Indians were blocking roads as they should. Those Indians at Blackbush Boulder have every right to block the roads. And they got the attention of the government. They got the attention of some opposition leaders. No wanted bulletin. No army called out. No police called out. But when black people block the roads, the army call out, the police call out, and our leaders condemn. Some of our leaders. I don't care, whether they think that I'm a nuisance, because I think, that's what some of them think of me anyway. But I have to educate you all. I don't expect in the mornings you all to wake up and remember everything and everything. It is my job to do that for you all. And to point out that just a few weeks ago, Indian people were doing the same thing. They were blocking roads. They were stopping PPP people from going in there. And the government went in, spoke with them. Some of our opposition leader went in there and praised them and give them solidarity. But a couple of weeks later, when black people do the same thing, the government sent out the army, the police, wanted bulletin, round up 100 and more of our young black men. And our black leaders condemn it, condemn their own people. And then in a couple of months, they come in and ask you for your vote. No wonder you all just turn you all back on them. The black middle class has always effed up us. When our people bring in the government to its knees and you need them to support us, they're condemning our people. I heard them say today that, the people, they don't like the term scrape head. Well, they're late. I'm glad they realize that our people are not scrape heads. But their condemnation of what the people did encouraged the government to label our people as scrapeheads. We are at a critical period. At the time of independence in 1966, the question was who governs? Which ethnic group will govern Guyana? Or will all the ethnic groups govern? And if all will not govern, who will govern? That was the question of the independence. That is why Elder U.C. Kwayan in 1961 said, look, let's have a joint premiership and let all of us govern this country. But the question was who governed? Because what independence gave us was political power as a nation. With the finding of oil and the unprecedented economic wealth that is coming to our country, the question is who controls that wealth? Which group controls the wealth? Or will all of the groups in Guyana control that wealth? And what you all saw on Monday night is about that. It is responding to the where the PPP has answered that question. The PPP's answer to that question is that the East Indian elite, in the name of East Indians, will control the wealth. And in order to control the wealth, we have to conquer the group that is standing in our way. So who controls the wealth? The PPP has said the wealth will be controlled by the East Indian elite. When you hear BK say, maybe not always, he lie. He been with the PPP when coalition come in, he switch. But he see 30 billion barrels at the bottom there. And he see wealth. He said, buy me a PPP. Because the PPP has answered that question by saying East Indian elites will control this wealth. And some of the crumbs will fall to the East Indian people. You know what the parliamentarians have said, friends, favorite, and family? Well, that is where David Hines and them does part. It's not friends, favorite, and family. It's the East Indian elite. And that East Indian elite, they will get some black hangers-on, some black stooges. They will share it with the Portuguese. They will get 1 and 2 Amerindian. But ultimately, that wealth is being distributed and controlled by the East Indian elite. And the people who stand between them and total control of that wealth are people like me, black skins. And that is why we have been the victims over the last 5 years. What happened on Monday night could only be done by Africans, because it's Africans who feel it the most. It is not that East Indians or Amerindians are not capable of protest and resistance. They are. But in this time, it is the Africans who will have to lead the way, and who are leading the way. It was an African working class uprising that we have seen these last few weeks. From the Square of the Revolution with the Melly Mel resistance to Linden with the resistance against the shooting of those 2 young men, to Monday night and beyond. I saw the people of New Amsterdam, who they were telling us just a few days ago, because they get some PNC member who cross over to them, New Amsterdam gone. When New Amsterdam on the road tonight. New Amsterdam on the road tonight. Marching through the streets. That man who say he is PNC, I want he go there and tell those people on the road that he crossed over to the PPP. Let it attack him with full force. The full force of the soul force. Let it attack him with soul force. The spiritual force. They capture New Amsterdam. They capture this way. They capture the Ramstel. They capture this way. And that is why the Ramstel was burning Monday night. To show them you ain't capture we. You capture some dunces. You capture some liquors. You capture some stooges. You capture some hangers-on. You didn't capture the people of the Amstel. Our people are showing us the way. Our people are showing us the way. And that is why I've dedicated myself these last 5 years to helping our people to prepare. To prepare. And that's the work that we've been doing. To prepare our people. So that they're able to seize the time. As Brother Bobby Seale said, seize the time. And they could have only seized the time if they were ready for the time. When our people were on the plantations, that's how they did it. They start on one plantation, and then the message, usually by the talking drums, move from plantation to plantation. And that is what caused the 1823 rebellion or the 1763 rebellion. And that is what we had there on Monday night. That is what we had there on Monday night. No leaders. Our people with a little black soul, as my elder said in 1963, all I have is my little black soul. All those people have is their little black souls. And from village to village, they brought the country to a standstill. They forced flights to turn back. They forced the government to reach for the army that should be fighting on our borders. They bring the army to fight the black youth. Understand. I love my brothers and sisters of Haiti. And we read in the books and we teach that the first successful black rebellion, revolution, 1804 in Haiti. But we remind that in 1763, Kofi and his band took the Berbice colony for 1 year. They had a black republic for 1 year and more in Berbice. And in 1738, before that, our brothers and sisters who landed in Jamaica said, we ain't going on that plantation. We going up in the hills. What they called the Maroons. And they signed a treaty with the British in 1738, creating Maroon settlements in Jamaica. Successful. A black state. Black states created in the mountains of Jamaica. Black states created in the bushes, in the hinterland of Suriname. Black state created in 1763 in Berbice. And on Monday night, our people, led by their young soldiers, created the African Liberation State for one night. To say to them, don't mess with us. We have the capacity to take this country over. We took it over for a night as a warning to you. You can bring your army now. You can round up our young black men. The deed is done. We have demonstrated to you that you are not omnipotent, that you will not conquer the African. The African will not be conquered. And you can call our young people scrapeheads. And you all, black people, stop using that term. Those are our young soldiers. And they're grateful. So many of them have found me on Facebook to say, thanks, Dr. Hines. And I ask them, what you're thanking me for? And they tell me, we are thanking you for the encouragement you gave us these five years. But it's not about me. It's about them. And I warn the black middle class, stop the nonsense that you all are into. Stop denigrating your poor sons, your poor brothers, your poor sisters. Stop it. Stop it, Nigel. Stop it, Terence. Stop it, all of you who are out there condemning the blocking of roads. You all can condemn looting because looting should be condemned. I am not condemning looters not because I'm in favor of looting, no. But I do not want to condemn one African so that they will use my words to say I condemn all Africans. And they will make the uprising on Monday night something with some poor black boys robbing Chinese restaurant and all of that. That's what they want to make it about. And unfortunately, some of our leaders have fallen into that trap. The government destroyed people's property. At Moko, at Linden, in front of the hospital. Destroy people's property. The government destroyed the roads as they were going to destroy those property. And our people dig up a couple of roads and you all want to condemn them. You all stop it. Stop it. Don't ask me no stupid question about whether I condone digging up roads and so on. If the roads offend you, because the roads are representative of the state. And if the state offend you, offend the state. Nobody is digging up roads. Those young people didn't get up and say, we're going to dig up roads. They went in front of that hospital. And they waited all day to hear the verdict of the postmortem examination. And what they heard, they didn't like. And they decided, we're going to move. Because we have to teach the governors of the state a lesson. They didn't say we're going to dig up roads. They didn't say we're going to burn this. We are going to teach the rulers a lesson. What nonsense are you telling me? What they did there that is not human? A husband beating a wife. Day in, day out. And one day she get up and she broke up the whole house. She broke up furniture, broke up glass, broke up where this. And if you get a car, she go outside and she broke up the window and she puncture a wheel. It is human to respond in a certain way. Why are you all behaving as though people who are oppressed If they break up things, they're mad. Them woman just beat every day. They just broke up everything inside when they get crazy. They take you fancy clothes we are going party with and keep blow with and cut them up. Why are you all behaving that what you all saw on Monday night was not a human response? Those people are responding as human beings. And when people get to the point, Bob Marley said it in I Shot the Sheriff. Freedom comes one day. It's the point of freedom. That point on Monday night, when the people could not take it anymore. Freedom comes one day. I saw Sheriff John Brown. I anticipated that he was going to shoot me. And I shot him first. I shot the sheriff. What is to be, must be. I'm prepared to face it. No bullet can stop us now. No bullet can stop us now. When C.L.R. James wrote The Black Jacobins, which is today the greatest book that is written on the Haitian Revolution, people say, oh, C.L.R. James was being, what the word the middle class academics just use? Romantic. He was romanticizing the Haitian Revolution. No, C.L.R. James was humanizing the Haitian Revolution because the Europeans who wrote on the revolution presented the revolutionaries as thugs. And I am not here tonight romanticizing what happened on Monday night. I'm here to humanize what happened on Monday night because the government, the PPP, and some of the black middle class are saying it was the work of thugs. It was the work of scrapeheads. And I'm saying no. It was the work of an oppressed people led by their African soldiers, making and striking a blow for their humanity and forcing the state to pay attention to them. Everyone is crying out for justice, for peace. Everyone is crying out for peace, but none of them is crying out for justice. Some of them, justice means moving Hicken. But they will move Hicken and they will put somebody 10 times worse than Hicken. It's not even that the government must go. It is the system. Babylon's system must fall. Babylon's system is a vampire sucking the children day by day, building church and universities to keep our people subjected. Babylon's system must go. It's not just about removing the PPP and removing Hicken and removing, yes, all of them have to be removed. But when we remove Babylon's system, all of them will go. I have never for one moment, I fight sometimes with some of you, doubted the capacity of the ordinary working people of my country and beyond. Never doubted. Never doubted. And so you will never catch me or catch my comrades, my brothers and my sisters, condemning people for blocking roads. Where are you living? Where are you living? Condemning your people for blocking roads. When people are blocking the very lifeblood of their communities. People are blocking their road out of hunger, their road out of poverty. People are blocking their road out of misery every day. And one night they block the road that come to steal the happiness and the freedom from them, and you all are condemning them. Every day they have to deal with people who are blocking the road to their humanity. My God, black leaders, as my brother, the late Great Gregory would ask, what kind of fool is you? What kind of fool is you condemning your people for blocking roads? When every day people are blocking roads and preventing them from reaching their full material and spiritual being in Guyana. Hey, Gary said, Dr. Ice, don't go too far. You will confuse some people. Well, Gary, sometimes you have to confuse people to get them to understand the right what you're talking about. You see, the thing with our politicians, Gary, is that they see politics as a superficial thing, you know, where you make statements and you say the right things, and the Americans will say this and this body will say that. They don't see politics as part of people's humanity. And that is the problem. That is why they claptrap the nonsense. It's easy to say, I condemn. It is difficult to sit down and to reflect, as some of us did yesterday when we fasted for 24 hours, to reflect on the Guyana around us. And if you spend time reflecting on your people beyond just a vote, and to reflect on their spiritual being, their economic being, their full being as human beings, you will not utter the nonsense that our leaders are uttering. Who are they fooling? Who are they playing to? Indian people give them one damn vote, not this election. I am sure that Indian people, as they did in 2011, as they did in 2015, when the going gets hot, some of them will break away, but not in 2020. So when you're throwing your little black boys under the bus, your little black girls under the bus, and playing to that gallery, you're being a fool. Sometimes we have to say that it is. We don't show our young people enough love. And when they turn their backs on us, we condemn them. We don't show them enough love. We are quick to call them scrapes and to call them this and to call them that. We are quick to separate ourselves from them. We are quick to see them as thugs. We are at one with the PPP on that. We see them as thugs, good for nothing. 1,000 soldiers, 975 kept their eyes on the prize, and 25 strayed. Rob people, 25, and we are judging the 1,000 army by the actions of 25 and not 975. Black people, know thyself. Know thyself. Cut it out. Cut it out. Many of you are wearing Rasta hair now, using Rasta language. At one time in Jamaica, Rasta to crawl on their belly to move from one place to another place. Alexander Bustamante said, bring in the Rasta dead or alive. And just as they rounded up 100 and more young black men tonight, they rounded up over 500 Rastas in Jamaica, cut off their locks. Bring them in dead or alive. Only 5 years ago, the Jamaican government paid compensation to the families of those Rastas that they took in and beat up. Know thyself. And that is what they're doing there. They're rounding up those little boys. Rounding them up. As they round up the Rastas. The Jamaican state had the presence of mind a few years ago to offer compensation to the families of those Rastafarians. 1963, what they call the Melbourne incident. Some gas station owner was killed with men in locks. And they said, Rasta man killed them. And the Prime Minister said, bring them in dead or alive. Listen to Ali. That's what he's saying. Bring black people in dead or alive. And you all are sitting there and chatting nonsense about looting. You all send looters. You all got anything for anybody loot. Why the hell are you all concerned about looters? Black people, we gotta get straight. The question is, who owns the new wealth in Guyana? And who must be conquered so that some will control the wealth? That is what we are facing. That is what we are facing. And we have always faced that. We have always faced that. At independence, as I said, it was who governs, who took control of political power. And it was an African leader who said, let us democratize the power. Let us have joint premiership. Let us share Guyana. And some of the black leaders say he called for partition. When the proposal was unity, and that if the leaders didn't want unity, then they should part of the country. And even the partition, it was about a black segment, an Indian segment, and what they call a free segment, where all the races could live together. Let me teach you all tonight. But somebody put in a book, Guyana call for partition. And then another scholar come and repeat it. And another scholar come and repeat it. And it was not until the 2000s when people like myself decided that enough is enough. And we are going to tell the truth. And we reintroduce the notion of joint premiership and power sharing, which is what Guyana was about. And some of the black scholars repeated that nonsense. Some of them, even the other day in Buxton, repeating, but partition. Guyana did not call for partition. Guyana called for joint premiership. That's what he called for. Those young people, the other night, weren't blocking roads. They weren't merely blocking roads. They weren't burning people's private property. What they were doing was striking blows for their own freedom, our freedom. Some of us hiding in our homes. And they were striking blows for our freedom. But all we could talk about is looting and blocking roads. We are moving. And we will continue to move until the crooked roads are straightened so that we can see through to the other side. We are not going to rest. until Guyana becomes a place where all of us, Africans and Indians, Portuguese and Amerindians, Chinese and Europeans, can live as equal human beings in that country. We will not rest. And even if we have to move some of our black middle class out of the way, so be it. So be it. We have come too far now to turn back. Any turning back is to go back into slavery. And rational human beings don't go back into oppression. Rastaman said we come forward. We come forward in unity. We come again in unity. Our people always imagine freedom. Always, always. And we are constantly doing that. That is what those young people were doing the other night. That is what those young people standing on the streets as we speak in St. Martin, in Kokwani, in Anguilla. They're imagining freedom. Or when we die, our souls will travel under the ocean, under the Atlantic, and go back to Africa. Or when my work is over, I will fly away home to Zion. When my work is over, we are imagining freedom all the time. All the time. Carry me back to my mother country. Carry me back to my mama country. Freedom. Freedom. If I had wings like a dove, I'll fly. I'll fly. And if I can't fly, I'll sing. Freedom. We're always imagining freedom. And you are telling us about blocking roads and looting. The fact that some of you all middle-class people can wear your shirt and your tie and walk around the place as important men and women, it is because of the struggles of the ordinary working black people and brown people. And now you all use your shirt and your tie to turn against them. Who feels it knows it? Who feels it knows it? When you kill a child, when you murder a child in the circumstances that our little daughter was murdered, the inside of black people, it is in there that we store all our pain, 400 years of it. And when you kill that child, you raid the innermost being of the African. And the impulse for freedom jumps out. No bullet shall stop us now. The PPP must understand that Guyana doesn't belong to them or East Indians alone. And if they don't want to understand it, we will make them understand it. If they can't hear, they will what? Feel. And they felt it on Monday night. There are many more Monday nights to come as we trot through Babylon's system. Some of our middle class brothers will make us think that wickedness is only in high places. But Bob Marley said, I and I now come to fight flesh and blood, but to fight wickedness in high and low places. We are doing it. And there are some voices that have remained strong and constant. I told an interviewer today, some academics interviewed me today for some academic work they're doing. And I said, I was lucky to be born in a place called Buxton. I was lucky to come of age in a decade called the 1970s. And so I do not doubt my identity, meaning I do not doubt with whom I identify. My blackness has never been a curse to me. It has been a blessing. Thank God for the place and the time that I was born. And then when I was lucky to get some education, lucky to get some higher education, I went to black schools in which I got a black education. My political science classes, I didn't read Plato, I read Du Bois and C.L.R. James and Carter Woodson and Walter Rodney. Thank God, thank the ancestors. And when I was done studying, God blessed me, the ancestors blessed me to teach in a black department, to teach about black people and the black experience. And people who have been blessed like myself have a duty to come back and to share that experience with our people, to lift them up. And those young people, those bands, those thousands, because there were thousands of black voices. Martin Carter said, "This is my hand for the revolution." That night, there'll be thousands of torches. From the hospital, the lame will come. Those who are mad will become sane for the revolution. Those who despair shall be happy for the revolution. And I myself shall be so fiercely happy that I'll make my shirt a banner for the revolution, a banner for the revolution. Those young men and women standing on the streets from the square of the revolution weeks ago through Linden to the west coast of Demerara to the four corners of Guyana, beyond the shores of Guyana, they speak for me. They are not thugs. They are not scrapeheads. They are not looters. They are not burners of roads and diggers of roads. They build roads. They build roads. They build the physical landscape of Guyana. They speak for me. That night, Martin Carter said, there'll be thousands of torches. And what we saw on Monday night were torches of freedom. Torches of freedom. Those flames that burned from village to village were torches of freedom. Let no one tell you otherwise. I'm not a saint. I'm not a wise man. But I sit with the ancestors. I sit with the spirits. I went to Atlanta on the weekend to celebrate 100 years with my elder. And when it was finished, I went back with him to his house. And I want to thank his family, his children, for allowing me at that hour of the night to sit with the sage. I sat with him for 2 hours. And I left there refreshed and replenished and ready to face the murderous pack. For their 1,000 blow, we will deal them one death blow. That one death blow is freedom. One death blow is freedom, opening up the gates of freedom. I speak not for me. I speak not for them, but I speak for you. The sufferers, the angels, the black souls, those who are washed with the wisdom of Timbuktu, the cradle of education, those who are washed with the water of the Nile and the Zambezi. Those on whose bodies are spattered the blood of Toussaint Louverture and Dessalines and Bookman and Kofi and Atta and Ackerby and Damon and all the saints and the angels and the archangels who walked the earth before us, who lit flames of freedom, who dug up the roads so that we can walk on smooth roads today. I'm inspired by them. And I want that inspiration to spread to you, the sons and daughters of Africa, the sons and daughters of those who have been creolized by mixing with the Africans. Because when we fight not only for ourselves, we fight for our brothers and sisters, our Indian brothers and sisters, our Amerindian brothers and sisters. I ended last night by telling the story that when you go to an all-nation walk, an all-nation spiritual walk, as we call it in the villages, let us invoke the Indian spirit, the Chinese spirit, the Portuguese spirit, the Amerindian spirit, the white man spirit, and the African spirit. It means that they're witnessing spiritually, not just for themselves, not just for ourselves, but for all others with whom we dwell. And then they call us racist. They know nothing about the African cosmos. They know nothing about the African spirit. And that is why they were taken by surprise on Monday night. We are what we are. And that's the way it's going to always be. Know that you all have some of us in your corner. You're not alone. You're not alone. You are not alone. Ethiopia shall never be conquered.